Hi dear friends, it's Sissy here from Australia with Jack. We're going for a little walk, and the following video is an AI translation. It's Michael Ballweg. Many of you probably know about him, some might not. Michael Ballweg is this German fellow who organized huge demonstrations in Berlin, well actually in the whole of Germany. I think the first was Stuttgart and then Berlin in 2020. From memory it was in August, and there was like 1 million people attending, but of course the mainstream media didn't say it was 1 million, they downplayed it. And actually Robert F. Kennedy attended that demonstration as well. So Michael is a really, really sweet guy. He hasn't got an aggressive bone in his body. He's really, really honest, and of course, same as with Rainer Füllmich, he was wrongly accused, and he's been in pre-trial detention for 9 months. He's out now, thank God, but the fight is going on. And I found this interview, a recent interview with him and two lawyers, very, very interesting. So please be sort of, the AI translation is not that good, but it saves me making subtitles, and I think it's, even so it's flawed, it's still better than just having subtitles. So what really grabbed me with this interview, and I haven't followed the case much at all, was that the judge, the first one, the arresting judge or whatever. Now check, you just wait a second. We'll nearly, no, we keep walking in a second, don't worry. Oh, he's a naughty boy. So that judge's name was Berger, and what they were saying in this interview, this judge seems to be really nasty and suffering from envy and jealousy, because first of all, he had Michael chained to a table for 6 hours. It's totally unnecessary, because Michael is the most peaceful guy you could ever imagine. So Michael was chained to a table for 6 hours, and then at this court day, the one they were discussing, this Judge Berger was actually a witness, and he couldn't remember anything, you know. He couldn't remember chaining Michael for 6 hours to a table, even though it ended up in a court case against him. So he was just he was just lying. So that, I found that really interesting. Oh yeah, the envy played such a part, because this Judge Berger, he said, oh, Michael Ballweg, he was so successful, the way he organized the demonstration and the Querdenker movement, and he wanted to sabotage that. He wanted to stop that, and I mean, I can only go by from what those three men were saying, but all three of them were clearly shaken by it. By that, I mean, I didn't say evil, I would call it evil. You know, somebody is just so envious and so jealous that they set out to destroy somebody. Absolutely destroyed him. Because Michael, he's lost everything now. He hasn't got a house anymore. He had money in the bank. He's got nothing anymore. I think Ralph Ludwig, he's getting help, you know, with the legal stuff. So anyway, I found it really interesting, and please excuse the low quality of this translation, but you'll get the gist of it. So enjoy. And me and Jack, we are going to keep walking. Hey Jack, what do you think? Walkies? Come on, let's walk, Baba.
Stuttgart, the 17th of July. The 25th day of the hearing in my case at the Stuttgart District Court. The final stages are approaching today. There were 3 witnesses present. One was the bank director of Volksbank Württemberg, specifically the chairman of the board. Then there was the board member of an association that, for example, supports demonstrations with medical services. And last but not least, the judge of the local court, Dr. Berger, who was responsible for my liability audit. As always, my legal team will provide the details. So, first things first. My parents are celebrating their 55th wedding anniversary today. I wish them all the best from here. My foster son also has his birthday today, so I also wish him all the best and congratulate him. It was actually a day to celebrate. but it was one that could not be celebrated here at the Stuttgart Regional Court, because the Stuttgart Regional Court did a very good job today. The Regional Court is clarifying what actually happened regarding Michael Ballweg's prison sentence and regarding the prosecution of Michael Ballweg, the legal prosecution of Michael Ballweg. And today it once again became very, very clear what kinds of forces and narratives actually played a role. Someone like Michael Ballweg, who had managed to establish a successful protest movement within a very short period of time. How this person, this human being, was criminalized, and how all of this happened simply by using the narrative that lateral thinkers are bad, thereby bypassing any obstacle to legal scrutiny, legality review, or anything similar. Perhaps in detail, the director of the Volksbank explained that there were money laundering allegations against Michael Ballweg because he had conducted various financial transactions, and that the Volksbank employee then noted in the money laundering report that Michael Ballweg was a lateral thinker, the founder of the Querdenken Initiative, and that also means, the authority responsible for reporting money laundering was informed that the person conducting transactions here was the founder of Querdenken, which has nothing to do with the question of money laundering, but of course casts the whole matter in a certain light. And something similar became apparent again during the judge's questioning, because the judge had Michael Ballweg chained to the table for 6 hours during a hearing on the 29th of November, 2022, so that Michael Ballweg could not move around properly and can no longer remember it today. He could not remember that he had tied up Michael Ballweg, that we as the defense had requested Michael Ballweg be released, and that the public prosecutor's office had also requested Michael Ballweg be released at the time, that he was always considered biased afterwards because he had tied him up, and that there had been a criminal complaint because he had tied him up. This judge could not remember anything. He couldn't even remember why Michael Ballweg was supposed to be handcuffed at all, because in his opinion, such decisions are made by the police officers at the Stuttgart District Court, not by the judge, and he said it was general practice because people in Stuttgart are traumatized by prisoners who aren't handcuffed. We weren't told what this trauma was supposed to be or where it came from. That means here, too, it's completely clear that Michael Ballweg was to be deliberately humiliated. His human rights were to be deliberately violated because he is the founder of the Querdenken movement. And then the judge, and I found that to be very, very hard for me, said that he was actually impressed with how Michael Ballweg had organized this Querdenken demonstration, how he organized Querdenken, how it all worked. He said it was like a company, so obviously an incredible success, and he clearly wanted to make this incredible success subject to legal proceedings, and ultimately wanted to ensure that Michael Ballweg, who had brought this success to the streets, was removed from circulation without any real justification. As I said, he could hardly remember anything overall, of course. From the perspective of the defense, from the perspective of human rights, from the perspective of the rights of people who are in custody. It's not just about Michael Ballweg. Perhaps it's a good day because it serves to shed light on things, but actually it's a terrible realization of how people in this country, which has established a free democratic basic order, and sees itself as a free democratic nation, are treated here, how people who are entrusted to the power of the state are treated. In that respect, I have to say it shocked me very much. You can probably tell that I'm struggling a bit for words today. I'm usually a bit more eloquent, but it was a tough day for me, and let's see what my colleagues have to say about it.
Hello, Reinhard Loeffler. Well, I can still fully understand my colleague's shock. It was not a great moment today for the local courts in Stuttgart that examined the arrest warrant. And, when the judge says in response to a question from my colleague that he only based his decision on the arrest warrant and that he has no further knowledge, that is a bit too little when it comes to sending someone to prison. That was very shocking, and it hurts when you hear something like that. But the court, which I also like very much, made it clear to us several times today, as did the public prosecutor's office, that they want to drop the case according to Section 153 A suggestion was made that, as a condition, a payment of 2,000 to 4,000 euros would be required, and then everything would be off the table. Of course, when you consider where you come from thousands of cases of massive fraud, money laundering, and tax offenses, it really is a grain of sand, and of course, agreeing to that today would no longer have been an option for us. Because we believe Michael is innocent, and this court must establish his innocence anyway. So the public prosecutor's office immediately said no. They are now seeking a solution in the next instance at the Federal Court of Justice. But, the court made it very clear that they give the public prosecutor's office little hope that this approach will succeed. That was good. In that respect, the day was a good day for me, even if the last witness was rather depressing. Yes, of course. I was especially pleased that the presiding judge pointed out in the proposal for discontinuation under Section 153A that compensation for imprisonment was not included in this proposal. Also, he waived the compensation for detention. He was also aware that I had been in custody for 279 days and made it clear to the public prosecutor's office that this compensation for detention would not have been part of the package. As expected, the public prosecutor's office declined. That's why the trial will begin next week and a possible verdict could be announced as early as the 31st of July, 2022. The Superior announced the verdict today, so we'll see how things go from here. I also have to share a bit about how shocked I am. It's still affecting me. The judge who conducted the detention review testified several times. At that point, he wasn't interested in anything I had to say. He said it wouldn't have mattered to him at all. Anything I might have said would have been irrelevant to him. And that's really, of course, bitter. He also said that he used to be part of the order and organized demonstrations himself. I wonder where that comes from. I hope to see you all on the 22nd of July. That will be the 43rd day of the trial and perhaps also the first day of the pliers. I'm looking forward to seeing you all. Arbitrariness only happens in the dark, and as soon as the light of publicity shines on it, arbitrariness is no longer possible. That's why I have a big request for you. Share these videos about my court case. Cofferleg does not hold any copyright on them that would prevent you from sharing them. Sharing is expressly encouraged. We appreciate every single one of you who supports us.